Provo, Utah. This is the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast with your hosts, Joseph DeGolier and Caleb Schweiss. This is Ultima Final Fantasy.
What the fuck was that?
Apparently it cut over it. Welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. I am your drop interrupting host, Caleb Schweiss.
I am your really weirded out and wondering what the fuck's going on with our system host, Joseph DeGolier.
And I'm your guest host, Caleb Craig.
AKA the punching bag.
Fuck you.
And today we're going to be going over the Nude Clan, or I was looking at our paper for Nude Clan.
I feel like we just did that.
The Ultima, I don't know what you're talking about. We record this show before Nude Clan. We're doing the UFF 2016 Podcast Awards. You guys have voted, your voices have been heard, and we're going to be going over that later today. That's going to be the awesome thing that today's episode is going to be centered around.
Like a recap for 2016.
Yeah, a little bit of a recap on the best of moments, the best, second best Final Fantasy podcast out there, and a couple other categories that we threw in along the way. Before we get into that, where are you in Final Fantasy 15, Joe?
Well, Schweiss, I have cleared all the question marks from my map. I did the rainbow frog hunt.
Yeah.
Or I guess not a hunt, but I found all the rainbow frogs. I actually only found one by myself. I had to look up a guide for the other ones, admittedly.
That's fine. That's a bullshit quest.
I also did the Witch of the Woods quest thing, and basically the only quests I have are you can go deeper into some dungeons, or you can do some hunts. That's like all I have, and then I have to beat the rest of the game.
Have you actually looked at your list, though? The checklist?
I've not looked at the checklist, no.
Oh, you might want to.
Why is that?
Because there's stuff that pops up later.
I even did my fucking fishing stuff. There were like 2 big fish I had to kill, or I had to reel in. By the way, fishing so much easier with a better rod and reel. Mm-hmm. So that seems to be the trick.
I would imagine.
That seems to be the trick of fishing. Is just get the better rod.
Pay to win. Yeah.
Yeah. Pay to play.
It's a mobile game. That's what fishing is.
Oh my god. Anyway, I'm like 60 something hours into the game, and I think I'm gonna just tape my controller down for a night and finish the survival skill tree, and then beat the game and fly the regalia and do the post game quests, and still considering replaying the campaign in a speed run after I'm done with New Game Plus with all my guys leveled up. Still considering that because I feel like someone else mentioned on the forums, I can't remember who said this, they felt like, they didn't really know how they felt about a Final Fantasy game until they went through it a second time. And I think I kind of want to do that. I think I want to give 15 a second run.
Well, this
Although
time
I didn't do that
like
with
5
earlier
hours.
games, so maybe I shouldn't. But at the same time, I stopped in the middle of the campaign to do all this stuff, and I kind of want to look at the story as a whole.
Well, you stopped
easier.
in the middle of the campaign, which was before the story was even being explored in any way. Basically, you were just
so
tossed
before
out
chapter
into the world.
4, did a whole bunch of shit like most people do.
Right.
But then also before chapter 15 or chapter 14, I guess, I left and started doing stuff. So I have not finished the game, but I have done a large amount of side quests, although not that many hunts, I guess.
All right. Well,
Sid still is not giving me the fucking weapon, no matter how many fucking quests I do, by the way, in between, which I know is like the thing. You got to do hunts and quests, but I guess it's the hunts. Guess I got to do hunts anyway. Where are you, Craig?
In 15?
Yeah.
I beat 15.
Are you replaying anything? I thought you were doing other stuff in it.
I'm kind of thinking about getting the platinum. I'm not too far away from it. I really just gotta get everybody's specific thing up to level 10, and I think that's really all I had left is just doing that. And then I think actually I had 10 more side quests to do for the 80 things. or whatever that one trophy is.
For the 80 more side quests?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm way past that shit.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah. But other than that, that's just like as far as I got for the plat. But I am done. I did the Adamantoise fight, which was like the one thing that I really want to do outside of beating the game, and I did it. So,
were you on Ultima when I asked this, or were you on Nude Clan when I asked how you felt about the game?
I think it was Nude Clan.
Okay. What do you feel about Final Fantasy 15?
I think we should wait for that.
Oh.
Are you going to be on the 15 review? Is that what you're
if you guys will let me, yeah. I'll totally be on it.
Well, now you give us power.
Yeah. If you want me to, I'll be on it.
All right. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Schweiss?
I am trying to get through all of the hunts post-game. I'm trying to do everything in the game. I think I have about 40-something quests left. A bunch of them are photo ops and other small bullshit things that are in the game. And I have, I think, 15 hunts remaining to me. So I've done a ton of hunts. Like, I am level 8. Like, halfway through level 8 in the hunts. I did one of the level 99 hunts earlier today, and it was pretty sick. It was way harder than the Adamantoise. Didn't take nearly as long, but it was a much tougher fight, and I had to really be on my toes for it. Yeah, I got the platinum a few days ago. It was like Thursday or something like that, and kind of gave it a break for about a day and a half, and just went back in and trying to clear everything up in Final Fantasy 15, and I don't know. Part of me is considering going through the game again just to get the story. Another part of me is like, well, I could probably just YouTube it and watch a video.
Well, a lot of the stuff is interactive. I almost feel like 15 is different in comparison to any of the games that came before it, because they're doing a very modern game thing. It took a little while for Final Fantasy to catch up, and now it's with this game where things are happening in real time. And so your characters are reacting to that, and you have some control of them within a lot of the cutscenes. More so than like in Final Fantasy 7 or 8, where like your guy can kind of spin around while the camera's moving. It's more complex than that. And
is it though?
Yeah.
In what way?
Really
like the dialogue selection?
Oh, I mean, there is dialogue selection. There's parts where you're moving and the other characters are talking. And honestly, like a lot of the ambient stuff, I would say ambient, that's probably not the right word, but a lot of the things where you're traveling with your buddies or you're walking along on
there's a lot of talk
part
that
of the train.
Builds the characters.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there that's building the characters and not necessarily an in-game pre-rendered CGI cutscene.
Right, but if we're going to be burning through the game, doing New Game Plus, how much of that are we really going to capture?
You're going to get less of that, but it's still there. Like, there's a lot of stuff like on the train that's still story heavy without it being a cutscene.
Yeah, there's no skip. Well, I don't know about that. There's no skipping that train part, though.
No, but it's still not a cutscene. It's still you're interactive.
You run to the back, and then you run to the front, and then you run to the back.
There's
and
more
than
than
the story.
that. I'm talking about like battling shit against the train. That entire train sequence. Yeah.
All right.
The whole thing.
It's better than the train sequence in 8. I'll give it that.
Oh, the train, come again another day, or whatever the fuck the song
thing. Yeah.
Not that. I'm talking about the train mission that you get.
Oh, yeah, way better. Are
but
you kidding me?
It's funny how many trains we have to deal with in this series. Like 13.
Well,
suplex train at 6.
You're
7,
taking my
8.
joke away from the Metallica train. There's always a train metaphor in every Metallica record. I will find them all.
Yeah, though it is something I'm considering. One thing that Dwayne, my roommate, talked to me about is doing a level 1 playthrough where you use an item that you get that basically holds you to level 1. And the reason why I like that idea is because going through the game again, it's almost trivial. Like, I just barely beat it. I mean, I might pick up a few more things on the story, but to really justify going through it again in this quick of a succession after me beating it, I should probably do a challenge of some sorts. So that would be that challenge. I'm certainly not sold on it 100% right now, because I don't know if I want to go through the game again right now anyways. It's a weird thing. Like,
you spend so much time in it.
I don't necessarily want to dive straight back in again, even though I'm pretty sure it's only a 12-hour game if I
I don't
do
even
New
know
Game
if it's
Plus.
that much, frankly.
Yeah.
If you're at level 50, whatever, or like I'm in the level 70s, right?
Yeah.
If I were to like go to anything in this game, it'd be like easy cheese. So
yeah. Chapter 13 will still take a while, but that's about it.
Chapter 13 will still take a while, yes, but pretty much all of the chapters except for 13 have been like you go here to here, but you can do other things.
Yeah, pretty short, and we're not going to be doing those side quests again. So
Right. I wouldn't do them, so
it's tempting. If you do it, I'll probably do it, but I won't do it before I finish everything else.
I've been strongly considering it enough that I'm going to go ahead and say plan on it.
Okay.
Unless I get really frustrated.
Well, don't fucking take forever when you do it, though.
You gonna do a playthrough, New Game Plus?
Yeah.
Don't make it like a 3-week New Game
Speed
Plus
through.
play.
Dude, it'll take him like 5 hours.
Yeah.
You can literally keep everything except for the Regalia Type F and the Ultima weapon. So
Well, he doesn't have that anyway, so...
Yeah, Sid is like fucking not giving it up. I'm not fucking counting that as... I still did everything up to it.
Look, man.
He just didn't give it to me yet.
Quest incomplete.
And frankly, he hasn't given it to me yet. So, I don't know, man. Maybe you need to get that before you do the 80 quests to get the trophy. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I feel like there might be a glitch. I don't know. It's taken him too long.
Maybe you've gone too far in the game.
I've talked to him multiple times. I've been like, well, maybe...
Does he still just say, brace yourselves for power?
Yep.
Okay.
That's all he says.
Then he's working on it.
He's been working on it for like fucking 15 hours of me doing quests.
How many hours are you at?
60-something.
Okay, I think I just passed 70.
And I was 30-something when I stopped in chapter 14.
So you did like nothing before you got to chapter 14?
I did a lot of stuff, but
That doesn't sound like a lot of stuff. 38 hours. I was at like 50-something hours when I got to chapter 13.
I was at like 30 when I got to chapter 14.
It might have been like 40.
Maybe you guys went through the story a lot faster.
I did, and then I went. I did
a ton of stuff.
I
went back in time
accidentally
to
went
level
the
up
store.
some more.
Went through the
Oh,
story
you got on the
faster.
train part and you couldn't stop it.
I got onto the train.
The hype train was real and unstoppable. Okay, I see. I was wondering. I was like, God, that's really fast.
Yeah,
but
at a certain point, once you go to the story, you go to the story.
Yeah.
There's
that's
no,
and it's funny because
There is turning back at a certain point. But,
very late.
yeah.
When I got to that point though, I had pretty much cleared most everything, and I was finally like, okay, I think I'm just going to beat the game. So I never got stuck like you guys or like Joe, where it was like, okay, I'm stuck in the story. It was like, okay, I'm doing the story until it's done.
What if it's glitched so it's like, I still need to do 3 more quests, but there's not 3 more fucking quests to do? And Sid's like, you're not going to get your weapon. Brace yourselves for nothing.
Well, then you just have to beat the game and do the post-game quests.
Yeah, I want to do those.
And then
as
he'll
well.
finally get
And
it
the
to
hunt
you.
called the Zoo, which I don't know what rank I have to be at to do that, but Schweiss recommended it, so I want to do it.
Yeah.
But
Well, I would also recommend...
you got other hunts you want to recommend? Just let me know what hunts you
Any
want
of
me
the
to do,
special
'cause-
ones.
Yeah, I don't know what
Like-
ones are the special ones. You got to tell.
Oh, the Adamantoise one was definitely a special one.
Well, yeah,
The,
special and
yeah,
There's another.
My mommy thinks I'm special, sort of a
Yeah,
way.
and like kind of bumped the soft spot a little bit, sort of special sort of way.
There's another level 99 one.
There's a few.
Ayakashi.
I don't.
It's a level 110 monster.
Yeah.
What rank
Was it the
on
ninja
hunts
guy?
Is it though?
Yeah, with the sword
Yeah.
that kills you fucking instantly.
That's the guy I fought today, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fucking asshole.
It's good, but it's not good like the Zoo good. It's not an interactive
The
epic.
zoo. That was.
I was thinking of, like,
disappointing fight. for
Other
me.
fights than the Deadeye, sort of.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Like the ones that actually
Not
they put
just
the ones they
hard
put some
fights.
time into, rather than the ones that they were like, okay, go fight these guys that you fought earlier again.
Just like a super powered one. Yeah, I guess.
Well, not even necessarily a super powered one that has like it's interactive. It's got a little
So the
cutscene.
Adamantoise one is one of those.
The Zoo one is
Yeah.
one because they walk up to it and all that stuff happens.
Is there another one?
There's
Not yet.
others that I would recommend doing. The Midgard Sormer was really cool.
Okay.
None of them are really coming to mind.
Okay. Where is the zoo given out at?
I think it's
The
Hunter.
Rock of Rabbit.
Yeah, it's right around there.
However
Okay.
you spell that.
Rock of
But yeah,
Rabbito.
or say that, yeah. It's just the restaurant that's at the outpost by
Yeah.
that
Awesome.
dungeon.
Okay.
And then
I'll-
you go up the dungeon.
I'll just get to whatever rank I need to do that one, and that'll be my last.
You
hunt.
don't have to have a rank for
And
that
hopefully
one. You can
Sid
just
will
do
give
it.
me the goddamn motherfucking weapon.
Well, you should do hunts until you get the weapon, I would think. I don't know why.
I was doing a shitload of hunts too. It's not like I cleared like 2 regions of the map's worth of hunt. Like I cleared the first valley, and then I kind of did the first half of the second valley, and then I got kind of sick of hunts.
Yeah.
I really don't know why it's taken so long for you, because I did like 2 side quests, and then I went to a hotel thing. It was like, hey, here's your shit.
That's how it was for me too. I got Ultima really fast.
I've done so many fucking quests. It is just blowing my mind. I'm like, what if it still says like within the random game code, it's like, you still needs to do 5 more, pussy.
What was the other weapon that you gave him? Because like I noticed that the side weapons take a little longer than the other ones. I'm not paying attention to anything but that one. I have this is what's happened. I got to him so late in the game that I had all the fucking items. And so I would just give him shit, go do stuff, and then he'd be like, oh yeah, you gotta come back. And I don't know what I was giving him. The fucking prompt came up, do you want to give him something? I said yes. I never once read that dialogue box. Okay. I'm just saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? I never looked for any of the items. I just had them on me. Okay, I'm just saying that it took me like 3 times as long to get the auto crossbow than it did to get the Ultima weapon. Auto crossbow, I think, might be one of them. But he's working on 2 or 3. He's working on them. I think I got one randomly. I think I was like, yes! And then it was a different weapon. It was like someone else's.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But he still has my fucking auto engine blade 3 quadruple blaster. And the next thing is Ultima. He's like, Sid's working on Ultima. Pass the time. It's like, I've been fucking passing the time for fucking goddamn 20 hours, dude.
Is that what the quest is saying, or is that what Sid is saying?
That's what the quest is saying.
Yeah, the quest just tells you to do some hunts and side quests until
Are you sure you've given it to him? Because the quest says that when it's not activated.
Yeah.
That's the quest just says when you have the quest.
Yeah, but when Sid talks, he just says, prepare yourselves for power.
When he has the thing, that's what he says.
Yeah, dude.
I'm just saying, like, for me, it was just, it's been saying
because after the last update, I went over there and I gave him shit. And once again, didn't read what I was giving him. I just had it on me.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it, I mean, like, because I know we've had conversations where it's like, well, did you get this one item here? I'm like, fucking, I have no idea. There's no way for me to know.
You should keep track.
Why would I keep track? I just was picking shit up, and then it was like, dude, this has happened actually a million times. Because there's been like a bunch of quests in my like, I'm going to do every quest mode sort of thing where it's like, I will accept a quest and it'll be like, and then suddenly the quest thing will still be on him. I just press X again and it goes, do you want to give this item to blah, blah, blah? And I'll be like, yeah. And then I get the quest and it's done. That's what happens when you like try to do all the quests, man. You just go everywhere and you pick up everything. That's, yeah. Yeah, that's what's happening, man.
Huh, that's funky, man. Anyway. I don't know what the deal is.
I don't know what the fucking Sid is being a little piece of shit. He's taking his goddamn long ass.
He's old. Give him a break. Listen to him. He's been chain smoking for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Is Sydney his daughter or his niece?
No,
his granddaughter, I think.
Granddaughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Just whistling at Sydney.
It was just, Oh, she was bending over. So there was I upgraded the car because I was trying to get the regalia, and I don't think I can yet. And I saw that she had a tan line underneath her shorts, like a very small tan line. I was like, this is too much.
I don't know if Cindy's his granddaughter either. I thought they were just brought her. I thought he was just like.
No, I think they are related.
She's founder.
She calls him something.
She calls him Papa. His dad.
Yeah. Maybe it's her dad.
No, her parents died in a car crash or something. He says that to them when they're on the way
crash? A car crash. William James Potter. It's an outrage. It's a scandal.
But yeah, he like says something like that when they're on their way to
You're a wizard,
Altitia. So
okay, yeah, I guess it is the granddaughter. She is.
Okay.
Never.
I don't know what I was thinking.
All right. Is she the most sexualized character in the series? Against Tifa. I mean, it's really between her and Tifa.
I think it's probably...
But Tifa had, like, the bouncing boobies in the FF7.
We need to find out which one had a...
Do you remember when the ship is crashing? Like, Tifa's boobs lurch in the
they
cutscene. FF7 cutscene. She's less sexualized in Advent Children's. Like, they dressed her down.
I may not remember that. But I do think that Sydney is definitely more so. Because she doesn't, like, there's no physical way that she can zip up that jacket.
Well, look, she's saving funds. She doesn't want to spend money on a new jacket.
Yeah,
it's
she's
hot.
had the same jacket since she's in, like, 6th grade.
Since she was, like
she's
2.5 feet tall.
Oh, my God.
How is it that the part with the weight on her belt is the one that's higher?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Okay,
you think that gravity would be shifted the other way?
We're looking at a picture of Cindy here, and it's...
Her breasts are their gravitational pull, dude.
I guess.
The two large objects are...
But wouldn't the belt be hovering around them instead of at her waist?
I don't know. Maybe
it's like the fucking... She's got the asteroid belt, or it's one of those fucking planets like Pluto, where it's like not really a planet, but it's being pulled in. That's how its gravitational pull is. It's got that fucked up angle. There you go.
Okay.
It's really trying to go around her ass, but her boobs are pulling it in.
All right. Who has a better body? Let's be pigs for a moment here.
Jeez.
Who, Tifa or Cindy? Cindy.
Dude. Oh, that's tough.
Cindy.
Okay. I like Tifa more, but I would get really tired of Cindy's voice, probably.
Well, the reason that I would say this is because, like, it's kind of, you can't really tell, because, like, in Advent Children, they make her boobs smaller.
I mean,
like, it's very clear because they're very big in 7.
They were giving her back problems, man.
Yeah, it was a health concern, Caleb.
I'm just saying.
Oh, are you saying that takes away from her beauty?
No, I'm not saying that, but... Cindy is meant to have everything going on.
She does have pretty much everything going on.
Yeah.
Right? She's got... Yeah. She's not as heavy on top as Tifa is.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. They're both kind of pretty athletic.
I don't know.
I think Tifa might have
Tifa is more athletic.
I think Tifa's got a better face. Not that Cindy doesn't have a good face.
I think the real determiner...
It's really down to brunette versus blonde, right? The age-old question.
You know what?
And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to side with the brunette, personally.
You're going to go with Tifa?
Yeah.
Oh, between those two colors, I can't decide, but I'm going to say whichever one had a porno made after them the soonest should be the one that wins.
Oh.
And Cindy's was pretty fucking fast.
Yeah?
I don't know about
the instant
FF7.
Somebody released an image,
yeah,
I'd say.
I don't know about FF7 and that industry really getting along back in the day, so that might kind of skew it, but I feel like we can look into that and really...
Yeah, that'll be
something to research.
Heavy research, guys. Some hard research.
Very hard. Very, very long and hard research.
Something will be very hard.
All right.
Is this what happens when we record the show after Nude Clan?
Yeah, we're just disgusting people. Yeah. That's what Nude Clan
I apologize.
No, don't apologize.
No, you don't have to. We don't have to answer that.
Become a monster.
I'm sick of people that are like, yeah, you just mean.
Yeah.
You know what? We're nasty on all of our shows, and we're just like nasty about one little thing that bugs someone, then it's like,
yeah, they just give
better
a shit.
hang us. Yeah.
It's true. We do
right.
get some shit for it, but
all right. Do we have
also
any...
What?
Go ahead.
No. News.
I try to let you speak, and you just don't want to take it. News.
Oh boy, got some new news. We have some news on Dissidia Final Fantasy, but since it's in Japan, I don't really feel like reading it.
Okay.
Okay, so there's no news for that.
Some stuff happened.
Yeah, some stuff happened. We don't care. We won't get to play it. So, you know how Dragon Quest is very big in Japan, but not super big in the States?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
we've done episodes about this shit.
Sort of. Square Enix actually was discussing the popularity gap between Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest in the West. Apparently, the art design for Dragon Quest is not seen as childish in Japan. He is Miyake,
whoever that is.
Yeah, dude, they're interviewing. Apparently, they believe there's a stigma on the animation style in the States, the aesthetic, the cartoonish sort of style, which they feel limits the potential audience.
It does
for the games.
Yeah, it does totally.
I would agree. I mean, we have Cameron over here, and he would never play a Dragon Quest game probably, and it's mostly because of the way it looks.
Yeah, fuck him for that.
Let's fuck him for that. Let's give him a good fucking.
Yeah.
God.
Dragon Quest is awesome, okay? And the art style is amazing.
Miyake is the executive producer of Dragon Quest. So,
okay, there you go.
That has always been something that's been bizarre because Dragon Quest is a massive series in Japan. It's huge. It always outdid Final Fantasy back in the day. You remember looking at the numbers. It was like crushing it.
In Japan, it always did.
In Japan, yeah.
But in other places, it hardly ever.
Yeah, it's like small. Even here, I would say it's small. Like, how often do you see copies of Dragon Quest games?
Well, we didn't have a lot of them, but
yeah, that's a big part.
Getting Dragon Quest VIII back when I got it was really rare.
Yeah,
I was lucky to find it.
And that game came with a demo of Final Fantasy 12. It was in 2006. It was the prime time for PlayStation 2.
That doesn't surprise me, and there's nothing surprising about that article. Totally, probably the art.
Miyake also apparently attributed the historical timing, mentioning that Dragon Quest became popular in Japan with the release of the Famicom, while Final Fantasy VII became a success after the release of the PlayStation.
But the other Final Fantasy games were still bigger on the other systems before FF7 came out.
Yes.
In these other regions.
Also true, but Final Fantasy VII was way bigger than any other Final Fantasy to that point, by far.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I do think it's just a regional thing. I think it's
regional taste.
It's the art style. It's just not as appealing, and I don't think they really did as much of a push out here. Because, I mean, if it's that hard to get a copy of a Dragon Quest VIII when it's relatively new, people aren't going to play it as much. It's not going to do as well. So, that was kind of interesting. We have a new trailer for Final Fantasy XIV's 3.5 patch titled The Far Edge of Fate. Don't think I want to watch this because I don't know what goes on.
Yeah. But there is a new one.
There is a new trailer.
14, have fun.
Yeah, go check that out. It's on Silicon Era, and I'm sure Limit Break Radio will discuss it.
Sure.
For a long time on the show. So Kingslave Final Fantasy 15 is a bonus video.
I love this
see
video, by the way.
An unlikely hero take on Ultros. You want to watch it again?
Yeah, I'll watch it again. Have you seen it, Craig?
No, I haven't. What
is
this?
Oh, wait. Have you seen Kingslave?
No.
Oh, because it takes place in a really weird section of Kingslave.
All right. Well, you're watching it anyway.
Okay.
All right, we got a little
still image. There we go. Little Marlboro running away from the gigantic Ultros from Kingslave.
Yeah, he's crying. It's all sad. We got this bald man writing some recipe stuff down, it looks like. He's got his sweet clogs.
And he's wearing a scarf, though.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to punch him in the face.
The Marlboro's hiding behind his foot. It's all sad. Gonna save him. The Marlboro's reaching towards his face. Guy stops Ultros with his foot.
Kicks up his sandal, yeah.
Warp strikes with the sandal. Just fucking obliterates.
Yeah.
I want to play that guy in 15.
I want to have the Marlboro pet.
What's funny is the scene that...
Yeah, the scene that they, put him into in Kingslave.
It's so fucking random.
It's the scene where the fat guy, what is his name again?
I don't fucking remember. Lucius or something?
No, Libertas.
Libertas
is giving that cook shit, and the cook's like, "Screw you, man. I'd like to see you do better." And he killed Ultros. So I feel like what this is sort of canonizing is the double fighting in Final Fantasy 15. We have the initial fight with Quetzalcoatl, and then we have the hunt with Quetzalcoatl. Now, this guy did the initial fight with Ultros.
With Ultros, but he didn't quite kill him yet, right?
Right. Nyx did the hunt for Ultros and then finished him off. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah, I thought that was a really cool...
they should have put that... I don't know. Shinra said it was a deleted scene. I don't know if it is or if it's just a little bonus thing that we got with extras. But if it was a deleted scene...
They should have had it. That was cool.
That would have been the best scene in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
legitimately.
The little Marlboro, just like...
There was... Craig, I know you haven't seen Kingslave. There was more story in that...
than in Kingslave?
Oh, a story that you can make sense of at the very least in that than is in all of Kingslave.
There was more emotion tied to the Marlboro chef relationship than anything.
Than anything Kingslave has to offer.
Minus probably the king dying in Kingslave.
No.
So.
Not even that?
No, not even that.
Yeah, so apparently there's a new game called Lost Order, which is being made by the people who did Final Fantasy Tactics. And it's apparently looking very Final Fantasy-esque.
And we'll find out if it actually is a Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and if it is, we'll play it. If not, boom! Not going to talk about it anymore because it's not technically Final Fantasy, but it does go along the lines of the Ivalice universe, so it's interesting.
Was that the one where the director of Final Fantasy Tactics partnered up with like another company with like a Kickstarter to make this?
I'm not sure if it was Kickstarter. It might be though,
because I remember seeing something that they were trying to make another Final Fantasy Tactics-ish game.
I think that might be it then. Yeah,
can't remember what it was called. Yeah. And I remember hearing about that like a year or two ago.
Yeah. So apparently, if you are a famous singer and you feel like being in a Final Fantasy
I say
mobile
famous
game,
loosely, okay? Because honestly, I have heard her name spoken. We went through her like top hits on YouTube and I'd never heard a single motherfucking song.
I have never heard of them either.
I have honestly, guys. Of course, I don't listen to pop music, so I don't go out of my way. But usually, like the popular pop songs, they come into
be on the radio.
They come into the ether, into the zeitgeist. Like they enter, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Enter
like
the
that,
Joe,
like that, like whoa, whoa, whoa. I had heard that a million times,
I don't know what you're
I
doing.
don't listen to fucking pops. You know what I'm fucking doing.
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
we're further removed than you.
All right,
Caleb and I are more
me.
sheltered.
All right.
Kept innocent.
I have heard the name Ariana Grande. I have heard her referenced. Honestly, today was the first time I had ever seen her face or heard her music, which is, it just sounds like kind of shitty electronic-y pop. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's not super.
It didn't sound
appealing.
special. I wasn't sure if it was Lorde. Like I was getting her mixed up with Lorde. I'm like, is it that one girl that's really talented? No, it's not the one girl who's really talented.
Wait, you think Lorde is really
I
talented?
think she's pretty talented.
Come on.
For
she's
how,
Randy
like,
from South Park.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she is Randy from South Park. But I just never heard a song from her. Apparently she's famous.
Yeah, apparently also her Touch It song is getting a Final Fantasy Brave Exvius remix.
Sure.
And you know what? Screw it. We're going to put her in the game. And her statement is, it's an honor for my pixel art character and for my music to be included in the new Final Fantasy Brave Exvius game.
Yeah.
A mainstay in the Japanese pop culture, which I absolutely adore.
Yeah. Sure.
There is a remix for Touch It. I don't know if you want to listen to it.
All right, we'll find out if I heard this song before.
It's called Touch It, yeah.
Let's go to like the middle where the chorus is.
I have a guess on what it's about.
Touch it.
Bop it.
Twist it.
Squeeze it.
Pull it.
Bend. Pass it.
This is just a little documentary thing. That's not the
and
song.
I think Final Fantasy fans
Oh, she's going, touch it, touch it, touch it.
Yeah, so I guess
never heard that song. Wrong.
Oh, you know what? A preview of Touch It in this trailer.
Right.
Let's see if we can find it here.
No, dude, they're still freaking. That's the same.
All right,
video.
fuck that. We can't find a fucking preview of it. If you guys play it, let us know if it fits. I mean, if not, I think Joe and I need to be contacting the Brave Exvius guys and get our characters in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius.
Based on the 2 songs that we heard before this, I don't think it'll fit at all.
You don't think so?
Well, it is Brave Exvius, to be fair. It's not an actual Final Fantasy game.
It's just
Still, though, like,
so people are
the
going,
2 songs we
they're jumping the shark by putting a
big one.
They're jumping a shark by putting a pop singer in
Yeah.
a mobile Final Fantasy
Plus,
game.
remember the pop song in...
How about it's just a mobile Final Fantasy game? They don't take that shit seriously. Don't count it as part of the series. They fucking suck anyway.
Also, Joe...
They're wasting money.
Pop song in Final Fantasy 15, pop song in Final Fantasy 14, pop song in Final Fantasy 13, pop song in Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 8.
Yeah, but still.
Pop songs. Some of them actual fucking pop songs that they existed outside of the game before they were in the game.
Sure.
13 especially, my God. But at least it kind of fit.
15s, but 15s.
No, 15s is a remake.
15s is
a
good
redo.
song.
It is. No, it's good.
It's also really
but
good.
I'm saying they're pop songs strewn through the Final Fantasy
I'm not
series.
worried about it. It's they're putting a pop singer. They didn't put Leona Lewis in 13.
Fucking, they might as well. You know what? Fuck it, right? But no, really, they have had pop songs since Final Fantasy VIII. So.
Yeah.
I mean, they had an awesome metal song in 7, but they just said, fuck it, we're going pop after that. They're like, we have One Winged Angel, but now we're going to go Eyes on Me.
I wouldn't call that a metal song. They remixed it into a metal song later. It wasn't a metal song.
I guess maybe not metal
It was a
in
MIDI
7.
keyboard song.
Look, man, it's as metal
It's
as
not
MIDI.
metal if it doesn't have guitars in it.
It had MIDI guitars.
Yeah, that's you might be right. I don't know. I'd have to look at the keyboard.
Look, man, the last time Naboo and I were hanging out, I asked him, Naboo, is One Winged Angel a metal song? And he said, hi.
Hi. He said hi.
Hi, yes.
And
then I bowed and I left.
That was the entire conversation.
That was the
He was on his
conversation.
throne.
So you weren't really hanging
on-
out? You were just there to ask him a question?
Well, I mean, that was the end of the conversation. The grand conversation beforehand doesn't need to be recounted here. He's a very private man, but I feel like he'll be okay talking about this one thing.
Okay.
Metal song. That's it for the news.
Yeah, the song I thought was a Rammstein song in FF10.
Yeah.
I don't need them to make a metal song, but
No, yeah, it's not super necessary. It's just weird because Dwayne was saying there's a lot of people that are up in arms about this pop song in a Final Fantasy game.
I'm up in arms
like,
about them making mobile Final Fantasy games. How about that?
Well, it's not a bad game though. It's fine, but it's like I thought it was weird. It's like, well, okay, I can understand maybe having the character in there being like, oh, that's kind of, it's almost gimmicky in a way.
It's that's all it is a gimmick.
But like having a pop song in there, I'm like, no, look at the last 8 main series games. They all have pop songs. So it's not crazy. Not all of them are pre-made, but
Is that all our news?
that is all the news that I'm willing to talk about. So
All right. Well, let's get. Thank you, Shinryu, for sending us news. Let's get to the good stuff.
the 2016 Ultima Final Fantasy Podcast Awards.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the awards for the year of 2016, the UFF Podcast Awards for 2016, recorded here in January of 2017.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, this is special, Craig. I know. Have you been with us before during these things?
Might have been.
You might have
one of
been,
them.
actually. We go through, we have our multiple categories. Categories change year to year, depending on what we feel like, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's a way to celebrate that we got through. We enjoyed
You got through another year.
a full year, a whole nother year of Ultima Final Fantasy. This
Damn
is
straight.
the third annual UFF Podcast Awards. Of course, our first 2014 awards only really did the months from May to December because we started our show in May, and then we had a full year with the 2015, and now another full year with 2016.
What a year it's been.
It has been over 2.5 years of us doing this show, Schweiss.
It's true, yeah. It's a long time.
Do you feel like killing yourself right now?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
How about you, Joe?
I don't know why that thought came up into my head.
How about you answer the question, Joe?
The thing is, there's just so many games left.
There are a lot of games left.
Oh, my God.
But this year, we only saw the release of 3 new Final Fantasy games.
Last year, breath of fresh air.
Last year and 2014, that was not the case.
No, it was
Plenty
not.
of Final Fantasy coming out those 2 years.
So, let's find out the results of the best 2016 Final Fantasy release. But first, the nominations.
The nominations for Best 2016 Final Fantasy release: Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy Type 0 Online, and World of Final Fantasy.
For the Japanese players. So only 2 for our audience,
yes,
for the most part. All right. So I'm going to do a drum roll just like we did last year. I was listening to last year's award show, and I did a little drum roll every time. Actually, you might have had a drum roll drop.
We did, yeah.
I think I might just do it on the table here.
Okay.
So can you hear that? Let's see. That mic is on, so I hope you can hear that. Okay.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Should be able to hear that. All right.
And the winner is
fuck you.
Final Fantasy 15. Of course, with
by a landslide, it looks like
31 votes, 5 for World of Final Fantasy, and 2 for Final Fantasy Type 0 Online.
Honestly, I mean, we've had some negative feedback, some kind of mediocre feedback. Some people have loved it as far as our audience is concerned. I still am floored by our first year when Lightning Returns did not win.
Right, Theater Rhythm.
It was Theater Rhythm that won.
Yeah.
But finally, things are normal. The big game is the winner here. And
I wonder, I bet you Theater Rhythm probably sold more than Lightning Returns.
What got second place?
World of Final Fantasy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you really expect anything
else? Who the
else
fuck were the 2
Japanese
votes
release?
for the Japanese release?
I don't know. Probably
Okay.
people in Japan that really enjoyed Type 0 Online.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. What's our next category there, Schweiss?
The next category is Worst Blunder of the Year. The nominees for Worst Blunder: Wooden Hand, Caleb Schweiss. You know, I don't know how you would move a wooden hand, Caleb.
I don't know either. There's no technology in that whatsoever.
We've got airships, but we got to give him a wooden
like
hand.
Geppetto, the guy
Pure force of will.
He's Pinocchio.
Yeah, but he has to control it with like his other hand, so he's got this little string thing. Puppet head, he's like, isn't this kind of counterintuitive? It's like, no, you got your hand back.
Or he does it with his teeth and his tongue. Just like,
Yeah. So you gonna be all right?
Showing my face. Stupid image of that.
Yeah. And then he's getting all pissed too, and then he just tosses it and puts the gun on and just shoots into the air again. God damn it. Pull! N64 versus PlayStation 1. Joseph DeGaulier. The Donkey Kong is fun, but it's not FF7.
You can't deny how big the N64 was, though.
I don't
It's such a
think
huge system.
it was bigger than the PlayStation, though.
It was bigger than the first PlayStation.
Was it really?
It was.
Damn, the PlayStation was huge too.
Yeah, PlayStation was pretty big, but and honestly, like Sega was just it's always been the loser.
No, they have. It's good that they're developing games now instead. And the winner is Wooden Hand.
Oh my God, the worst blunder of the year, Schweiss.
I think that's inaccurate.
Would you call Schweiss a winner or a loser?
I don't
in this
know.
category?
We're going to be looking at some other categories.
So,
that,
the worst blunder of the year was the fact that Schweiss thought, despite us both reading this, and I honestly didn't correct him, so I feel like it's partially my blunder as well.
Well, when was this? Because I feel like I corrected you guys, and then you were like,
that was something else.
You didn't correct us.
I have all sorts of problems with Barrett's hand, it appears, but...
It's Barrett's hand. Caleb thought that it was a wooden hand. I went with it because I was like, fuck, man, I wasn't paying that much attention to it, I guess. And then there was a lot of jokes about Geppetto and him using his other hand.
I do remember,
as like a puppet master hand, which made me die laughing.
It was funny.
It was all built on a lie.
It's true. But the N64
your
PS1...
I'm waiting for your acceptance speech.
I refuse to accept this award.
Oh!
The N64 versus PS1. I tried to correct you, and you shut me down.
We corrected it in the next segment of that episode.
Yeah.
So it was...
I looked it up.
Cleaned up a lot faster than the wooden hand.
Yeah, but how many of these motherfuckers actually watched that short? How many of them knew the wooden hand was a problem? Come on.
At least the livestream.net guy who
the livestream guy knew.
YouTube video and was like,
he knew.
Wooden hand.
He knew, but I bet you no one else knew.
All right, fine, sore
I'll
loser.
accept it.
All right, what's our sore winner?
I'll accept the outcome of this election.
All right, fine.
All right, the next category is Best New Jingle.
Okay, real quick. So it turns out I was wrong about the jingles. There was only one new jingle this year, and thus only one winner. But who was the winner anyway?
Correction segment.
Okay, that was the only jingle this year.
Wait, when did we make no reviews?
We made it right at the end of last year. I listened to the last award show, and it was on there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I know. So we actually had a mess up there, but...
Well, it doesn't matter.
We will accept the correction segment jingle as a work of genius.
Yeah.
That it is. It is my favorite jingle of all time that we've ever done.
Your favorite jingle?
I would have to say that my favorite little flourish that I added on there at the end, because I can't remember whose idea it was to do the MasterCard commercial thing. It might have been Schweiss.
I do think I was there, and it was Caleb's.
Yeah.
But I remember that my little addition, besides mixing the whole thing and finding the FF9 music to put in the background, my little addition was that fucking trumpet.
Yeah,
I remember you searching for like a half an hour looking for the right failed trumpet sound.
And that is my favorite part of that jingle. I think it's just beautiful, dude. We came together and we made something incredible.
It's true, and I'll gladly accept the correction segment award jointly with Joe here.
There you go. All right, what's our next category?
The next category is Best Impersonation.
Okay.
The nominees for Best Impersonation: Joe as Ignis.
It would have been about a month ago, I think.
Not much reason to use this one since you're always carting me around in yours. Ignis sighs in mock exasperation.
Forgive me for working too hard.
Gladiolus by Caleb Schweiss. Ceremony of the treaty between Lucius and Niflheim Empire. Gladio seems troubled by what he is hearing. So even Kors... Oh, you want to do him?
No, go ahead. You do it pretty well.
So even Kors on external patrol that day?
Yes, and the Crown's Guard will operate as usual. Only the bare minimum will be on duty.
So we leave the Citadel to the Kingsglaive, huh? Guess they don't know what you're capable of. King Regis. Joe. Sif Digolier. Comrades, interior, Citadel, Regis's room, night. A weary-looking Regis sits down heavily on his chair.
Regis!
Having just returned. That is Regis! Simply Regis.
Regis.
And
who wants to be a millionaire? Regis. There you go.
Having just returned from a meeting. Mayaka voiceover from Final Fantasy XI by Caleb Schweiss.
Why, if an Elhaf, enjoying the festivities, I trust. The bouquet is about to take place. I wonder who the lucky lass will be.
The winner for Best Impersonation is... Oh, Caleb with Gladiolus.
Oh, way to go, dude. I did not think my nominees were that strong this year anyway.
Yeah, but, you didn't have a Dave Mustaine song, so that's your in.
I know, that is always my in, right?
So that one won with 10 votes. King Regis from Joe had 3. Mayakov voiceover from myself had 8, which I feel like should have been the winner.
So you were the winner no matter what. You really pulled that one.
Yeah, and then Ignis for Joe had 6. I think your Ignis impersonation is probably the better of those two. So I could see that.
I guess my British accent's pretty terrible. Pretty terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, your Gladiolus is pretty good, Schweiss. I'll commend you on that.
Thanks.
Give us your acceptance speech in Gladiolus's voice.
Well, guys, we're going to go out and we're going to take this award and we're going to go far with it. We're going to go camp. We're going to go fish. And I'm going to talk about you getting with my sister for a lot of the part of the game. Really disturbingly. We're going to take a photo and you're going to bring it to her. Yeah. That's such an odd part.
Cup noodles.
Yeah, the ultimate flavor experience.
Yeah, I gotta get that behemoth meat.
Yeah, this is the ultimate award experience.
I want you to give my sister the ultimate cunnilingus experience.
Oh! Yeah, give her the ultimate cunnilingus experience, Noct. I want to hear her scream. Oh, God.
I go to the toy store and it's like a
super
little,
sexy
it's like a behemoth vibrator.
Yeah.
God, dude.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good image.
12 people stopped listening
Is it a
to
good
the show.
image?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Well, no, the vibrator itself, not the... Come on. Come on.
I will come on.
All right, so the next...
what? Many things.
The next category in our awards is Best Rant. The nominees for Best Rant are Joe and Caleb, Revenant Wings Collision.
It would be absolutely raped and destroyed. And so when you're trying to fight around the staircase that is, of course, part of the path, maybe you need some guys in and some guys out, kind of out of the way. Or
yeah, definitely.
You want to strategically move your forces, but whenever you fucking click on a guy and the group is right in front of the straight line to the target, the dudes in the game, your espers or your guys in the game cannot figure out how to walk through a group or around them.
Yeah.
Which is like, isn't this game design 101? Why the fuck would you want them to I know you told me to walk over there, and there's totally 3 clear paths, obviously, to the direction, but no, I just can't. I'm gonna pace back and forth in front of this group for 20 minutes, before another wave of minions come in.
Yeah. To do or not to do the Final Fantasy XI add-on scenarios. Craig says play the 3, but
I agree with Craig.
I don't really care what Craig says.
I think we should just finish 11 right now.
Well, we already canceled our things. If we don't finish it
I know, we have a few days. We'll do it.
Will we?
Yeah, will we? It cannot be. And I could eat my words here, but I don't think I will. In fact, I'm willing to put money on it. It cannot be as bad as Seekers. There's nothing that's going to get in the way like Seekers did. And Seekers is the only one that took us more than 3 weeks.
Yeah, Seekers did, but Wings took us a while too. It was 2 weeks though, I think.
Yeah, it was.
All right, so you say we do it now?
I say we do it now.
Ah, Jesus, dude. I was done.
We'll do it now. We'll do the fucking add-on thing after we review Kingslave. And then we'll have our Final Fantasy XI wrap-up.
I guess. I think this is a stupid idea, but...
Well, it makes it so that we don't have to pay for another month of it.
Well, we don't have to do any of it, is the thing.
That's true.
We don't have to play FF2 because we played this. We don't have to play this. We don't have to do...
I'm saying...
We don't have to do anything that they say they want us to do.
We are the ultimate
all right?
Final Fantasy podcast.
Yeah, and you know what's not ultimate? The FF2 expansion thing, and we are not touching it. You hear me? Never. We'll do this 11 thing, and we'll be done with 11. All right? I'm fine with that.
All right.
Imprimateurs, Joseph de Gaulier.
So you sign up and you're like, I want to quest. And for a certain quest, or excuse me, a certain mission, which are the story stuff, in order for a certain mission to open up, you need to spend these imprimaturs on quests. This sounds confusing as fuck because it is. You have to spend them on quests, a blank amount, by the way, an amount that is either between 20 and 80.
Right, the very short number range between 20 and 80.
Imprimaturs. Which, by the way, imprimaturs... Okay, actually, you got to spend those things in order for the next mission to open up.
Right,
That's
yeah.
important to know. And there's 20 to 80 of them. Now, imprimaturs are things that I was really fucking confused about, not only because of their name, not only because of their fucking weird function, but because they're not things that you earn. Imprimaturs, if you sign up for the Seekers of a Dueling expansion area, I might as well say that. If you're like going through these things, imprimaturs just show up in your inventory.
Right, yeah.
And at the mind-alteringly slow rate of 4 per day.
Yes.
And that's not 4 drop at midnight. That's 1 every 5 hours or so.
6 hours, yeah.
6 hours. Shows you my math skills.
Yeah.
And by the way, you can't just be like, okay, I signed up for the guild. I'm going to get 4 a day and walk away and then come back in a month. You have a max of 15 that you can keep in the thing. So you can't be like, oh, I got my 15, I'm going to spend my 15, the thing's going to pop. I mean, it might pop because the number amount is not specified. It's random.
Yeah.
And in order to move on to the next quest.
2-star review, Son of a Bitch, by Caleb Schweiss.
Come on over.
All right, I'm going to read this next one because it shits me off to no end. Okay, this one's titled Kind of a Mess, ... 2-star review from Jordan Gaski.
Hold on. I got to get this going.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. The FF10 episode was good. I went on to listen to the FF7 episode. Definitely not as good. But you did get me thinking about the game in a few ways I never had. Then I listened to the FF12 episode, which was terribly disappointing. Not only are your voices painful to my ears, one of the hosts is incredibly immature and laughing throughout the entire podcast, treating the whole review like some sort of joke. You couldn't get the story explained in a manner that was understandable, and I think the hosts even admitted to not having played the game in several years. If you're going to do an in-depth podcast about a video game, it's probably best to pop it in and give it a go to refresh your memory. Not recommended. All right, fuck this guy. Okay, you can go on YouTube and see hundreds of hours of me playing Final Fantasy 12 over the fucking summer around the time when the review came out. And yeah, I understand there's part of this that's calling Craig out for his loud, squeaky laughing, but that's not the show. He's just an extra. So fuck you and fuck your review. And you know what? Before anyone gives me shit for trashing a listener review, this guy's not a listener because he doesn't know how to fucking listen! And the winner of Best Rant is... Oh, me again!
Oh,
2-star review. Son of a bitch.
Oh, how close. Oh, it wasn't even that close either. 2-star review, huh?
Second place was Joe's Revenant Wings Collision.
Thank you. I worked hard on that one.
Third place...
Wasn't that also with Caleb?
No, it was mostly Joe.
It was mostly me. Yeah, we had to take the clips and...
Yeah. Third place was the Imprimaturs with Joe.
Imprimaturs!
And fourth place was my To Do or To Not Do, the Final Fantasy XI add-on scenarios.
There you go. So you won yet another category, Schweiss?
Yeah.
You're excited. What do you say? What do you say to that?
Well, I mean, it's a clear path to victory with this one. Thank you all for appreciating my 2-star rage. And you know what? The catalyst of the 2-star review is here with us today, Caleb Craig. So I thank you as well for bringing this review into this world via your whiskey.
Your annoying laugh.
Your annoying laugh and the fact that you haven't played the game in quite some time, which was a lie.
Yeah, I had played it before, and I think that's what he was referencing, is I hadn't played it in a while since like I had beat it.
Yeah, but it wasn't even that long. It was like a couple months.
Yeah, I beat it like a month before you.
So thank you for giving birth to my Victor child here.
Yeah, that guy, I still fucking hate him. But,
Yeah.
you know, you just can't win over all people.
No, you can't.
Otherwise, you'll be fucking Marvel, and thus boring.
Everyone would be number
Every
one.
movie is the same fucking movie, and it's lame and shit like that.
Yes.
All
So
right.
the next category we have is the best guest on the podcast. Unfortunately, Caleb Craig wasn't nominated, and I totally forgot to do that. So welcome.
Well,
Welcome
God.
to Ultima.
Why
guest.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't either.
I demand a recount.
You know what? Other people in their nomination things, they did not nominate Caleb Craig.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Sorry, buddy.
It's all right. Somebody else could get it.
It's okay.
Even though I don't think I got it any of the other years.
Maybe
either.
not, because we keep getting 2-star reviews whenever you get on the show.
Maybe.
Fuck
yeah.
you.
See, look, I appreciate it. And he's over here.
There you
hating on
go. All right.
me. Remember this.
All right. I'm ready. What are the nominees?
The nominees for best guest are Troy Cavanaugh, Krinital, Andrew Parham, Limit Break Radio Crew, Minzara, and Brad Willis.
All right. I'm going to start the really shitty drum roll.
Do it. The winner for Best Guest of 2016 on Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy podcast, goes to the esteemed Limit Break Radio Crew. Yeah, way to rally your
Limit Break Radio.
way to rally your power and really bring that one home. That was a great episode. So
That was a really good episode.
good job, guys. Glad
We
to have you on.
enjoyed every single guest that we had on, except for
Oh, yeah.
Caleb Craig.
Yeah, apparently
Yeah.
you
we
guys fucking hate me.
Look forward to speaking with you guys again in the future. Thank
Yeah,
you very
it's-
much for coming on.
Always fun. Always fun. Now we get into the hurtful category, the
Okay.
worst episode of Ultima Final Fantasy.
All right.
Let's get those nominees.
Of 2016.
Of 2016, yeah. The nominees are Kingsglaive, Ultima Final Fantasy Pinup Guy Tournament, Our Final Fantasy 15 Midnight Release Experience, and Final Fantasy X-2 Last Mission. The winner of the
loser.
worst episode of Ultima Final Fantasy in the year of 2016 goes to the esteemed episode titled Our Final Fantasy 15 Midnight
Hey.
Release Experience.
No, I wasn't on any of this. So
That's true. Last Mission came in second somehow. That was just one I threw in there. Thanks, guys. Third place went to Ultima Final Fantasy Pinup Guy Tournament. Go to hell. And fourth place went to Kingslave.
Okay, so who planned which ones? I can't remember who planned the 15 release experience. That one might have been me.
That one was just like a thing we did.
Yeah, I don't know if that was me or not.
I don't know.
But thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
no, thank you. for
It was
that
all the
award.
mix. That's really what it was. It's a lot of people didn't
A lot of people didn't like the mix, I
So-
guess. I thought it sounded fine, and it sounded fine on my speakers when I fucking sent it out.
Yeah.
Sorry. So sorry.
I don't know, man. Some people just can't be happy. Plus, there's a category for the worst, so you're just going to vote for the worst. I mean, one of them had to
Yes,
be the
yeah.
worst.
One of them had to lose.
Someone has to win, and someone has to be the absolute worst piece of shit, and that happened to be that episode.
Okay. All right. How about best episode of 2016 for Ultima Final Fantasy?
All right, so the best episode of 2016 for Ultima Final Fantasy
Thanks for repeating me.
is
Well, we'll name the nominees before we say who it is, because
a struggle, a mortal struggle between Spotlight and Nibu Uematsu Parts 1 and 2, Final Fantasy X-2, A Farewell to Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy with Troy, Ultima Final Fantasy Pinup Guy Tournament, On the Way to a Smile, Episode Barrett, Final Fantasy IV, The After Years, and Final Fantasy series, Our Rankings Revisited.
All right.
The winner is... Ooh, a close victory for Spotlight, Nibu Uematsu Parts 1 and 2.
Woo! I won one! Jesus Christ!
That was a joint thing.
I wrote that entire fucking thing and mixed it. Fuck you, that was a joint thing.
I helped.
Yeah, you helped. You helped
I
with every
found sound
episode.
clips for it.
I help too.
No.
Is this entire competition
It's
really
whoever-
for finding who's the best host?
Well, here's the thing. Every other episode, we plan every other episode. Like, it's one person's episode.
Yeah.
So they have to compile the news, they compile the questions, and then if there's a write-up, they have to write the write-up.
Yeah.
And motherfucker, I did that for both of those.
I feel like the Final Fantasy Pinup Guy tournament was the best episode of the year.
For both of those in the heat of the night, and we both stayed up way too goddamn late doing that shit.
Yeah, for nothing, because you didn't do your fucking trip. You just
I did a little bit of it. But
and then you fucked me out of the 10-2 platinum because
Anyway.
we finished it in like a minute.
anyway, I appreciate that. That was it was a tough episode to make.
Yeah.
I think part one's a lot stronger than part two, personally, just because of the music chosen. But it did bring some people into the show. I saw one video game music blogger put it up on his site as like something that was really cool that he found.
Yeah. It was a fun episode. Yeah.
I thought it was a really good episode. It was the episode I'd always dreamed of doing since almost just like a couple months into starting this show when we wanted to do the spotlights. I knew what I wanted to do for Nobuo Uematsu.
Right. Yeah. It was one that we had talked about for a very long time. And we were like, that one's going to be big.
Yeah.
We're going to do that one when we have time to really do it justice. And that happened to be that day. So.
And we totally didn't have time to do it, but we did it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Never
it's great.
had time to do it.
It's a fun one. It's a one-off episode too. It's unlike anything else we've ever done. It's
No, the Soken one was similar. The reason we did the Soken
Oh, I
one
guess that's true, yeah.
was, to me, it was a warm-up for Nobuo.
Yeah, that one
Spotlight.
was similar, but I don't know. The
So-
Naboo just felt like something else, so
Yeah, I agree.
it was good.
Anyway.
So the final category and
Thanks, guys. Best episode of the year.
the most esteemed category, much more esteemed than best episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, is the best non-UFF Final Fantasy podcast.
We're not part of this award.
For 2016. Well, we assume that we are the best, so we want to make it a contest for second place.
Oh, okay. I got
Previous winners include Limit Break Radio and the Livestream.net podcast, right?
Yes, the live stream podcast. Yeah,
The Livestream podcast.
yeah. Limit Break beat us in our own thing. I was
Yeah.
super pissed. 'cause-
Famously, I would
Yeah.
say, famously beat us at our own. What we thought was a glamour. What do we call that? Like a vain.
a vanity.
A vanity award.
Yeah,
And they totally beat us in
Yeah.
our first year.
Well,
in our
didn't they
own
get
contest.
like every single person they had? Just
they
like,
had a
vote
lot of
for
people
it?
vote for him. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Anyway.
I'm glad they did it because then I was like, dude, we're not putting ourselves in this thing.
Then the live stream, which is a show I hadn't heard of. They really threw me for a loop, but a lot of our listeners listened to them.
Yeah, yeah.
And they won last year. And honestly, I thought Limit Break was going to win again because they're such a huge show. But who's our winner this year, Schweiss?
The winner for the 2016 Best Non-Ultima Final Fantasy Podcast Award goes to the beloved, the famous, She Heals, I Tank, Final Fantasy 14 podcast.
No, we didn't even say the nominees.
Yeah, the competition was between the Livestream podcast, She Heals, I Tank, Final Fantasy Union, and Limit Break Radio.
This time we actually only nominated things that our community put up. So last year we had every show, and then this year it's a smaller and more intense competition.
Yeah,
Definitely.
real intense there, Union.
Looks like Union got boned
Yeah,
a little bit.
Union
Yeah.
did get destroyed.
That's
But we always put them in the nominees. 'Cause,
We do.
People like them.
yeah, somewhere, somebody,
They don't care. They don't care about this award. But,
no, they don't. But
for us, it's always good to see okay, who's our competition?
and then we
Sorry.
realize, okay, there isn't any. So who competes against
They're totally
each other? Who competes against each other to try to challenge us?
There you go. But
that's what this is.
I have seen the logo for She Heals, I think, as going around iTunes.
Yeah.
I remember finding it because we always search Final Fantasy and we want
Right,
to see
yeah.
where we are, how close are we?
Yeah.
And that I remembered scrolling down once and seeing them being like, I don't remember this one.
Yeah.
And I think I want to say that I also saw them in New and Noteworthy of iTunes.
Oh, nice. Yeah. A couple of our listeners have talked about them a few times.
Have they? Okay.
Yeah. I was talking to
I think it's a 14 podcast.
Asian Cajun. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is. So great.
Anyway,
that's
good job,
awesome,
guys.
They're fans. They call their fans shit fans because it's SHIT for their
Nice.
their thing. So that's
good
a pretty
acronym.
clever acronym. Yeah. So fun stuff.
Anyway, congratulations.
Good job, everybody who won. We, of course, still have one category, which I suppose might even be more esteemed.
I think this is a special category.
This is the honorary category.
So in 2014, we did similar awards, but they were kind of like our most interactive listener in certain areas. And then last year we decided, you know what, we're just going to pick the foremost listeners that the kind of like,
the most listenery listeners
exactly,
of all.
And they're really interactive, or they do a lot for the show, or something like that. And they don't necessarily have to. I mean, it's not like a requirement to be a part of the community to listen to the show.
No, of course, it's an extracurricular activity.
I would say community leaders in a way, or they're special to the show in their own way.
Right.
We have 2 repeats.
Right.
And 1 new one. So we have 3 of these that we're going to give out this year.
This is, of course, the beloved Audience Maximus Award from Ultima Final Fantasy.
So, for our repeaters, by the way, way to go, guys, winning this twice in a row. I think Shinryu might have won the first year as well. Shinryu is really up there.
Shinryu's DTH, down to help.
Yeah, exactly.
Down to help. Yeah.
For adding new content to our website, for giving us news almost weekly,
and
constantly,
for just being there,
for being there on the forums, even when the forums seem like they're gonna die, like they do every time I switch the forums over and people like take their sweet ass time moving over.
Yep.
Shinryu, once again. Audience Maximus.
Thank God for you. And you finally sent us a message, too. We know what you sound like.
I know. We know what his voice is like.
It's crazy.
We reached another point in our relationship with Shinryu.
Yeah.
But we just want to say thank you once again, Shinryu.
A couple years from now, it's going to get hot and steamy at this rate.
Oh, yeah. 20 years down the road.
Yeah.
Our next winner, repeat winner of Audience Maximus, the one man who stuck with it throughout the entirety of Final Fantasy XI.
Who better than Shinryu to receive... just kidding. Fuck it. I looked at Shinryu's name. Who better than Krinital to repeat this award? Final Fantasy XI is a beast, is a grind, is... fucking joy.
We pretty much destroyed Krinital's life.
We ruined this man. And you know what he's going to get? A little fucking plastic figurine of a weightlifter holding a ball or something. I don't even quite remember what it was last time, but it's going to be even more sporty this year.
No.
He's going to get an award from us, dude. You stuck with us from the beginning. Every step of the way. You told us how it was ruining you, and I said, we're going to do it, Krin. We're going to do this thing. You're like, okay, well, my life's fucked. And I'm like, look, man, your life will come back. This is now. This is real. We're doing this. And he was there every step of the way. When I said, hey, Krin, I'm thinking about doing these add-on scenarios just by myself because Joe wasn't down to do them at the time, which is an odd switch between us where we're just like churning around in this fucking washing machine of Final Fantasy XI. And I said, will you be interested in doing these with me? Because I want to run through the content. He immediately got on the forums and said, yes, I will. Even though I could see in the writing tears short-circuiting his keyboard as he was reaching out in a dream and almost grasped control of his life again. And it was wrenched away by the Husk user on the Ultima Final Fantasy forums, which you're always there. Awesome, man. You really deserve this. Yes. Thank God you stayed with us through Final Fantasy XI.
Second year in a row, and you totally deserve it for a second time in a row, and it's both Final Fantasy XI related.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah. You were there. I mean, we haven't played 14 this year, but I do want to bring that up at the end of last year. Super helpful with the little quest log things, the killing logs. Can't remember what the fuck they're called, but always a joy to have you on.
And And right before I have to leave to work, and this is why Caleb Craig is on the episode, I want to give one last award. Audience Maximus for a man who not only let Schweiss win a copy of a Uber edition of Final Fantasy 15 that he had bought him,
let me win,
but also when I was unemployed and had no money and had to play Final Fantasy 15 for the show.
Oh boy.
He went out of his way and got me a copy of Final Fantasy 15 as well.
Yes.
On top of that, he's helped us immensely through Patreon and through other means as well.
Yeah, we had him on for an excellent episode throughout the year as well.
Episode. He was one of the best guests we've ever had.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you to Troy Cavanaugh for being there for the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I am so honored to have the opportunity to destroy Joe in a quiz format on the Final Fantasy series.
Oh, yeah.
I say destroy.
And totally
loosely,
mixed up
loosely,
because like he brought in something new to the when we bring in the Patreon.
Yeah, he
episodes.
invented a new segment where it was Stump the Hosts.
That's crazy.
Instead of Stump the Joe. Which is what Stump the Host really is. So that was very inventive, and it was a lot of fun to be, just fucking not know anything about the series. There were some tough questions in there, and it was a great episode, man. Thank you so much for everything you've done for the show. You really deserve it, and we're looking forward to another fun-filled year with your presence.
Anyway, guys, before I head out, I just want to say thank you for a wonderful year. I mean, I wish I could give an Audience Maximus to like 20 more people. There were certainly other people that were like, should we give it to this person? But these three stood out the most,
right?
I think.
You're all honorable mentions.
You're almost all of you are almost all of you.
Except for that 2-star fucker. That guy's not an honorable mention.
Anyway, it's been a great year of Ultima Final Fantasy.
Award.
Despite being like half of it being a Final Fantasy 11 shit.
Yeah.
And us were like, when I was looking back at the year, I was like, geez, we didn't do
shit.
Games.
Yeah, I know. I look at it and I'm just like, oh, dude.
But we're back on track till 14 hits.
We
so
wasted it.
Can't wait till we are stuck on that thing for 6 months too.
Yeah, you get it 2 expansions by the time you guys are playing it again?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it'll probably be 2. Although, I don't know. I calculated that with our original time for Final Fantasy 15,
but it looks like it's going to be like a week or 2 for that game,
which wasn't a month and a week, which is where we're
probably be questions from us to you today. Anyway, thank you guys for a wonderful year of Ultima Final Fantasy. I really appreciate, once again, every moment that we have with you guys, tweeting us, being on the forums, just being active participants in this long journey of going through every single game in the Final Fantasy series.
And yeah, probably everything Final Fantasy related.
Almost, yeah.
We're going to be, God knows where that's going to take us. That's all I'm going to know.
So I will see you guys and leave you in the beautiful and soft hands of Caleb Craig and Caleb Schweiss's less than beautiful and soft hands.
Yes. Thank you for that graceful exit.
Questions for us. We would like to hear from you. To our forums. Or contact us on Twitter. Get on and ask your questions. We'll answer them within a week. This is the question segment. Ask you will receive.
All right, so we got a couple questions here today. The first one is titled Live Action. This is a question from Batman2J. Oh, no, shit, sorry. It was from Haley Blue. Batman's the last one who responded to it. It's titled, again, Live Action. So Final Fantasy as a live action movie, what are your thoughts on if they did this? If you had the option, which game would you want to make into a live action movie? And who would be in it?
Well, I stand by the response I put into the forum, which was, which game has the least ridiculous hairstyle that they could plausibly put into a movie screen?
Okay. Haley Blue says, I would have to say 6, 8, 9, 13 have the least crazy hair.
Okay. Well, Zell has pretty crazy hair in 8.
Yeah.
But that is, I guess that's true. They have the least crazy hair.
All right, so if we're going to have to make a movie based on a Final Fantasy game, I don't know, what game do you think would translate well into a movie?
Well, 2, because it's already Star Wars.
Okay. Final Fantasy 2 has Star Wars.
Has characters, you could play on the fact that they were all orphans and stuff living together or whatever. I don't remember because I haven't played much of 2.
You know what? I'm going to say Final Fantasy 12.
12?
Yeah. We're going to make it a Sky Pirate movie. It's going to be like Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's Pirates of the Sky. It's going to chronicle Balthier's adventures throughout the world. Who are we going to cast as Balthier? Gideon Emery?
Yeah, maybe.
All right, so Gideon Emery, the guy who voice acts Balthier, will play Balthier.
Does he look good enough to play Balthier?
He's a little older, but
I think I've only seen him the one time. How old is Balthier supposed to be?
He's only like 20-something.
Maybe pick a different guy.
What about Andrew Garfield as Balthier?
Oh, no. No.
Well, I mean, we got to find a young actor that can play Balthier here. This is a tough pull.
I don't think that either one of those people could do it.
Okay. What about Chris Pratt as Balthier? Chris Pine?
No. Neither of them.
Good enough for Star Trek, not good enough for Balthier?
No.
Ah, man, you are a tough nut to crack here.
Yeah, I'm very stingy with this sort of thing.
Ah, man. Well, okay, so we got to find a guy who's thin, who's funny, who's good with the ladies.
Yes. Sounds Britishy.
Sounds British-esque. I don't know. Justin Timberlake, maybe? We get JT to play Balthier.
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake. We'll get Scarlett Johansson to play Fran.
Oh my God. Can we just stop
because
casting her and things for a little while?
There's no one more fantastic in this world. And maybe Andrew Garfield is Vaughn. We'll just give him a blonde wig.
Maybe it's Vaughn. Yeah.
Pinello.
If I was going to make 12 a movie, though, I would just not put in Vaughn and Pinello.
Who would you have play Bosch?
Bosch? I don't know. That's a tough one.
Like find a portal and bring back young Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or his son.
Yeah, we could do his son.
Yeah, son wouldn't be too bad.
Clint Eastwood's son is Bosch. Who for Ash? We gotta have Ash if we have Bosch.
Oh.
Margot Robbie, maybe? Nah, that'd be a weird
She's gotta be like 19.
Yeah.
Or 19 looking. You can't.
God, this is brutal.
Do this right. I know. It's like you can't think of anybody right now.
Who? Young, nubile Ash character.
Nubile?
Yeah.
That is a very strange word coming from your mouth.
It's a weird one. I've only said it like 6 times in my life.
I think 5 of those coming from Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, probably, yeah. And this is the 6th. Oh, shit. Who would we get to play Ash?
Oh, maybe Jennifer Lawrence? Maybe? I don't think she would be, like, right looking, but I think she could probably do it.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about the looks. I think she could pull it off. I think she could. What about
She's young looking enough, I'd say.
Oh, the guy who's being he's in that new series of Unfortunate Events. What's that guy's name?
I don't know. I haven't even seen that trailer.
The guy who gets his throat slit in Gone Girl. Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, yeah, Neil Patrick Harris.
I think he could do Balthier.
You know what? He probably could do Balthier.
I think he could do a pretty damn good Balthier. I'm going to recast Balthier, Neil Patrick Harris.
All right. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. For Bosch, we got, what do we choose? Clint Eastwood's son.
Yeah, I don't even know his name.
And we're going to give Vaughn the little vest, too. And this movie is going...
I thought we were cutting out Vaughn. Or do you really want to keep him?
Okay.
Because if you want it to be a good movie, we cut out Vaughn.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll create the story of Final Fantasy XII in its original format without Vaughn and Pinello. We're going to have the awesomeness of the Empire. We're going to have the political drama that's going on. We're going to have them searching for the stones, the Nethicite. We're going to have Bosch's brother betraying him.
Yeah.
We're going to have Bosch being set up. And, of course, whoever we find, Clint Eastwood's son will play both characters, Bosch and his twin brother, naturally.
Yes.
And the movie will be rated R. And
rated R?
Hell yeah. There's going to be blood, sex.
That might be too far.
All right, maybe PG-13. And it's going to be, I say we just do for the story of Final Fantasy XII minus Vaughn and Pinello.
Yeah, it would work. And you'd have the 4 party members.
You would, yeah.
4 cast members.
Yeah, you would.
You know, it works in like every way.
It does. I think Neil Patrick Harris would accept that role too, willingly.
Yeah, I think he'd enjoy it.
All right, so we have one here titled Final Fantasy versus Dragon Quest. This kind of plays off of that article we read earlier.
Yeah.
So from Knox Knight 88, he said, I read this today and was curious on your thoughts. Basically, the article discussed the reason why Final Fantasy is more popular in the West than Dragon Quest. Square Enix...
This is the thing that we talked about.
Yeah, it is. Square Enix executive producer Ii Miyake provided a couple of reasons. The discrepancy could be tied to nostalgia with Final Fantasy VII and Rise of the PlayStation, which didn't occur with Dragon Quest. Another possible point he discusses is the difference in visual presentation. Since Japanese culture accepts cartoonish art styles for all ages, Dragon Quest does not alienate older audiences. He assumes that it does alienate older users in the West. Since Final Fantasy is more CGI than animation, FF is more popular. I actually lean more towards the nostalgia argument versus the culture argument. Anime is huge over here, especially Dragon Ball Z, whose animator is the same as Dragon Quest. So I don't think the anime style would alienate enough people to make Dragon Quest less popular than Final Fantasy. What are your thoughts? You know more about this shit than Joe and I combined, probably. So what do you think?
I don't know if the people who enjoy anime is a large enough thing to say that everybody who enjoys anime would be playing Dragon Quest. Because, I mean, like, it's basically this, there's like anime-esque styles in Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And people still play it. And then you guys don't really know much about anime or it being cartoonish. So, I mean, I do agree that the cartoonish part of it is probably what will turn most people off to Dragon Quest, which is really sad because they are, like, they have the cartoonish feel kind of for a reason in later games. I feel like they're, and I said this later in the, on the forums, is that they're more of a whimsical Final Fantasy. Like the monster designs are meant to be more cartoony, more playful, more like whimsical, and the like stories are very classical stuff. Like you are the hero and you go fight the Demon King who has taken the princess. Or something very like that. In fact, Dragon Quest VIII, which is probably most people's favorite of the series, is basically that. You have to go help the king and the princess like regain their forms from beating this demon jester.
All right.
So like that's basically the story. So
I would say that, man, I don't know why Final Fantasy is bigger over here. I feel like it might be westernized a little bit more in its style. I mean, clearly they're still very much JRPGs, but maybe a little less on the anime in the earlier games, and that might have given it a foothold. In Final Fantasy VII, it was just such a big advancement in gaming that one was just huge.
It was a big advancement in gaming, and most people tend to start with 7 in the series, which is one reason that it's so big. But like for past fans, the Final Fantasy had changed a lot with the old RPGs. Like most RPGs, including the first Dragon Quest game, are from the point of view of like the character.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And Final Fantasy changed it up and had the characters on the side fighting the monsters, which is, you see like your characters, you see what they're doing. I enjoy that style a lot more, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I don't hate the point of view of the characters.
Right, yeah. You think maybe it just had more of an appeal. It looked like something more natural. I mean, it's based on American football is what it is.
Yeah, and they said that they styled it like that, where they were on opposing sides.
Right, so I wonder if maybe that is something that plays a part of it, because football is a very large thing in America, and even if you don't necessarily watch it, it's recognizable. You can tell what a football game is, so I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that it's not just a combination of one thing. It is a combination of the two. People being slightly alienated, like we said before. Dragon Quest is fucking huge over in Japan.
Yeah.
Outselling Final Fantasies up until like a certain point. And people over here don't care enough that we didn't even get like the 10th game.
Yeah.
So, we do get some side things. We recently got Dragon Quest Builders, and hopefully we'll get Dragon Quest 11. They even redid 7, and they're redoing 8 for the 3DS.
Oh, very nice, yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see more of Dragon Quest, and hopefully it gets more popular, but I do think that it's a combination of both nostalgia with 7 and the cartoony feel that alienates people.
Okay, let's see what Alistair says. He says, what about the gameplay argument? Dragon Quest is pretty much the same game every time. It's probably a really solid, comfy RPG series in that respect, whereas Final Fantasy changes it up completely each time, and this is sort of hit or miss. I will say this, Dragon Quest 8 was a damn good RPG. Traditional as hell, but more enjoyable for it. As far as FF in the West goes, I do think Final Fantasy VII has done more for the series than we probably know. What do you think about that? The Dragon Quest, are the games very similar as far as the battle system?
Yeah, they are very traditional RPG. They're all turn-based ones. They're very, they're just pretty much all the same. They don't really use the attack time system thing that the newer Final Fantasies have used, like with that started in 4 and then kind of kept going. They are all turn-based, and they change very limitedly with the way that they do things in the system. Like they don't have like a draw system or a materia system that changes drastically, but they do change some things. They'll have like alchemy pots where you can make items and things. It just kind of depends on the game, but they are very traditional RPGs.
All right, so Haley Blue says, I have to say I have never really played the Dragon Quest series. The only reason I think is because it looks too cartoonish for me. I guess as I get older, I want a more serious-looking game. If someone can just give me a rundown on what the series is about, I might play them. You recommend starting with 8, and Batman says Final Fantasy was a bigger title than Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior, before PS1 and FF7. The gameplay in FF1 versus Dragon Warrior was better, and when FF4 came out, it revolutionized how stories were told in RPGs, and Dragon Quest couldn't keep up. Final Fantasy built a larger fan base who tend to be loyal to their favorite brand, and that is why, in his opinion, Dragon Quest has never reached the same popularity as Final Fantasy. FF4 did change things up quite a bit.
Yeah, it did. And I would say that Dragon Quest, the first one, is better than the first Final Fantasy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You dare bring that?
By far.
You dare bring that onto this show?
I do.
Okay.
And I would challenge anyone to play both of them and then try to argue with me.
Yeah?
Because they take about the same amount of time, like 8 to 9 hours.
Yeah.
And Dragon Quest you know where you're going the entire time. There's no confusion. There's no random paradox storyline that makes no fucking sense. You're just a hero defeating a demon Very simple, serves the gameplay. It is perfect.
All right, I've never played the first Dragon Quest. I can't argue that.
Dude, you get the princess at the end of the game. You pick her up, and then you just go.
Nice.
Yeah, it is fantastic.
That is pretty fucking sweet.
You get a reward for actually completing the game, and you get the princess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you never get anything at the end of Final Fantasy, except for death.
Easy now. Easy with that. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys for your questions. We do have a question from us to you. Let's get into that. From me to Craig. All right, so this week, the question from us to you guys. Give us your reviews of Final Fantasy 15. In the next couple weeks, we'll probably be reviewing this game. I know that's much quicker than the Old Man Joe time frame that he gave us.
3 months, did he say?
Months, yeah. It's probably about half of that, if I were to guess. But maybe not next week, but probably the week after. We're going to be reviewing Final Fantasy 15. Let us know what you thought. Give us your reviews. Ask us your questions. There'll be spots up in the forum. It's all no holds barred, guys. Go for it.
Yeah.
Put in anything you want. Call us on the phone line, 385-204-3921. It's 385-204-3921. Leave them there. We want to hear from you guys. This is a big fucking deal. This is a new Final Fantasy game in the course of the podcast. There's only a few of these that happen, and even fewer that we actually play when they come out. And by fewer, I mean just this one. So, yeah, jump on that, get on the forums, and let us know what do you guys think of Final Fantasy 15. You as well, Craig. I expect to hear from you. Whether or not we have you on the episode is yet to be determined, so...
All right.
Make sure you dive into that. We have one more little section we got to do here, and it is the iTunes reviews. Got a couple of these. Hey. iTunes reviews. iTunes reviews. Yes, we have 2 iTunes reviews for Ultima Final Fantasy today. Good FF Podcast by G1DEM on January 4th, 2017. 5-star rating, of course. Fun podcast with witty banner and a homegrown feel. Keep up the good work. P.S. Any thoughts about Dragon Quest X and 11 releasing on the Switch? Or the series' friendly relationship with the FF franchise? Any thoughts on that?
That's a random question inside of a review. But I do think that 11 is going to be on the Switch eventually. 10, maybe. I did hear some rumors about that. 11, the trailer I saw had it for PS4 and 3DS. So there may be a Switch version coming out later, but it won't be at the same time if they're released at the same time.
Okay. Cool. So would you like to play it on the Switch?
I'd probably rather play it on PS4.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, a real big boy system,
yeah.
if possible.
Yeah.
But, okay, cool. We have another 5-star rating from MCONYE on January 6th, titled, You Guys, ... are the best. Thank you.
I love it.
It is very simple, just like Caleb Craig here. And
you.
Thank you both for your reviews this week. It does a lot, helps out the show, helps us grow, helps us move up in the iTunes rankings, and we really appreciate hearing from you guys. Yeah, fuck. Make sure you guys check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Ultima Final Fantasy. Check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/Ultima Final Fantasy. You can tweet me and the show at UFF Podcast.
You can tweet Joe at what is his thing again? Joseph DeGollier?
Yeah, it's Joseph DeGollier, something like that.
Something, it's garbage. Anyway, and you can tweet me at Obsidian Bah if you feel like it.
Yeah, you can support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/Ultima Final Fantasy. $1 a month gets you the episodes as soon as we're done getting things taken care of, as well as episodes, as well as extra content. Guys, please check out our other shows. Nude Clan Gaming. We just barely got done recording an episode on the Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, and we now have a Patreon, so you can check that out too.
You can, yes. And also check out Godzilla Podcast, Super Sexy Swingin' Fan Fiction, and the old Getting Fat with Caleb and Joe. It was a fun series. So all of that is available at ultimafinalfantasy.com. You can just go through the shows tab and check out everything there. Please leave us your questions, guys. We're really looking forward to hearing what you thought about Final Fantasy 15. I mean, there's already some stuff out there on the forums, but we want to get it nice and compiled. And I know you gave your reviews initially. A few of you have read through them, but some time has passed, and I want to get your feeling on the game and make it a part of our.
Now that it's sunk in a little.
Yeah. So please check that out. And until next time, guys, enjoy the Final Fantasy 15 grind.
This has been another production of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. The show was produced by Joseph DeGollier and Caleb Schweiss, with music and editing by Joseph DeGollier, parodies and clips from their respective authors, of course. You can get all of our episodes as well as our Let's Plays at ultimafinalfantasy.com. You can also contact us on Twitter at UFF Podcast, as well as our contact page on our website. Be sure to subscribe and review our podcast. Your reviews may get read on the show, and look forward to the next episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast.